Hi, I'm Ryan.
I'm Dillon.
And welcome to Adaptation Station, the show where we review books and their movie adaptations. One of us reads the book and then watches the movie. The other one watches the movie first, then reads the book. And we give you our recommendations for which order gives you the best experience.
Yes, and today we are talking about Knock at the Cabin at the End of the World. The book is Cabin at the End of the World. The movie, Knock at the Cabin. And you read the book first this time. Can you tell me about the book?
Yes. Cabin at the End of the World is a book written by Paul Tremblay in 2018. And it tells the story of a little girl, Wen, and her two parents, Eric and Andrew, who go on vacation to a cabin. And it kind of gets interrupted as some ominous strangers appear to them, and
it gets more strange.
It gets
from
stranger
there,
and stranger from there.
Mm-hmm. And the movie follows the same plot as that. Tremblay's novel was adapted by M. Night Shyamalan into the 2023 movie Knock at the Cabin. It changes the title, but it follows the same basic plot, and it stars Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, Nikki Amuka Bird from Zadie Smith's N.W., Rupert Grint, Abby Quinn, and Kristen Cui. If you don't already know, Shyamalan is a writer-director of many films, of psychological thrillers, horror movies, things like that. His famous movies include The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, more recently The Visit, Split, and Glass. And his most recent one before this, I believe, was Old. And before we get into talking about them, I would just say that Shyamalan's one of my favorite directors of all time. I generally enjoy his movies, so I was excited to check this one out.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, I generally will see the Shyamalan stuff. I've been less impressed with some of them as of late myself.
Makes sense. Sometimes he gets a bad rap for some of his movies, like his early ones are considered great classics, but then he's got some misses in the catalog. But let's get into talking about this one. Do you want to talk about the book first?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked this book. It just, what a thriller, all the way through, just pulling me, but so unnerving, and it's the thing where I really enjoyed reading it in terms of it kept me captivated through the whole thing, the whole time. I actually blazed through this like I couldn't put it down. It was one of those books to me. I couldn't put it down. But it's the thing where what's happening, I couldn't stand it. It's so brutal.
It's pretty horrible.
Unnerving
was a good word that you used, because I read it pretty quickly too. I agree with you, and even after watching the movie, I wanted to read it quickly, and it's even more difficult than the movie. It's more disturbing.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed the book. I thought it was very, very good. What did you think of the movie after reading the book?
I did not like the movie.
Really?
After reading I thought it was pretty boring. Probably because I knew what was going on, but in a way it seemed clumsily made. It seemed like a clumsy adaptation where they tried to do things like the book, but not, they didn't quite achieve it in my mind after reading the book first. It wasn't as ominous, I mean, some example, I don't know if if they were trying to go a different way, but Rupert Grint's character in the book is supposed to have a Boston accent.
Yeah.
But in the movie it's sometimes it sounds like Southern.
That's true.
And then sometimes it sounds like he doesn't have an accent at all. And it's I think it just wasn't good. I mean, maybe, I don't know if that was just them trying to get a name in there that would attract some people, he was in Harry Potter, and put him in this movie. I don't know that it was the best role for him.
Interesting. That didn't stand out to me too much, but
for some reason that did to me. And I don't know. It seemed, whereas the book gripped me in a way to like what made it seem unnerving is it made it seem real. There was too many things about the movie that I can't pinpoint necessarily a specific thing, but it didn't feel like it did that to me.
I have one example of a thing that popped me out of the movie, at least. But first, I want to say what I did like about it, because I did like the movie. For a lot of the beginning of the movie, I thought, like, oh, M. Night Shyamalan is back. I was like, this is good. I felt like, oh, this is one of his best ones since, like, Signs. I felt like the tension was good. Maybe partly because I didn't read the book. I had no idea what was happening. So for a lot of the beginning, I thought the tension was super good. I liked the way it was directed. It's one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan cameos when he's on the infomercial on the TV because they turn on the news. Yeah. That's just funny. I liked some humor in there. But what did pop me out was I thought the tension was good except for one part when Dave Bautista's like escaping and he goes into the bathroom. His character, the big guy. He goes into the bathroom and one of the dads is like going in there slowly. It's like a tense scene. Mm-hmm. And he opens the door and he looks at the windows open. And you can tell he's thinking maybe he went out the window. Uh-huh. But it's like this tiny circular window and it's Dave Bautista.
He could never fit out that window.
Yeah. So watching it, you're like, he's behind the shower curtain. Like, obviously he's in there. And so, surprise, he jumps out and attacks him. Yeah. Like, that was just like comically not even possible. That it broke the tension for me.
Yeah, and that's a specific thing, but that's kind of the vibe that I got from the whole movie, where it's like the little details. Yeah, it was clumsy. The little details where it's like it's so easy to just do the thing of, well, but why wouldn't he just check the rest of the bathroom anyway? Yeah. Regardless of whether he could have fit through the window. Exactly. You know, if you're going to do that gag, either that or he comes in and that's the first thing, and he's attacked immediately. He didn't have time to think. You know, just the little things that you don't think about most of the time just...
that's just work. Like too much of a horror movie trope at this point that you can't get away with it. Of like, So also, what I didn't like about the movie was the ending. Yeah. The ending to the movie was such a huge letdown to me. I liked it through a lot of the beginning, but I feel like it went nowhere. And I really did not like the ending at all.
I didn't really feel like that was a twist. Like, I don't know that you need a Shyamalan twist, but you're expecting the Shyamalan twist. For him, to me, it didn't seem like that. It kind of was like, okay. I mean, that was hinted at this whole time. I don't see.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like the opposite of a twist. It's like because you kind of expect that it's not real, so the twist is, oh, it is.
Yeah, but that's not a twist because it's because if it was either one, you could believe it because it's what it's setting up the whole time.
Yeah, that's the whole plot. Is it true or is it not?
I know that's maybe unfair because it's like it's putting M. Night Shyamalan, you know, in a box where he can't do anything else because you expect a certain thing.
He never
from
promised
him.
you he's going to give you a twist in this,
but it is what he does.
It's what you expect at this point.
Maybe he should direct a film under a pseudonym or something.
If there's no twist. Yeah, but then you know whether there's a twist or not. But I mean, maybe that's a good thing. But what I wanted to say was it was funny because I really disliked the ending of the movie. Going into reading the book, I was hoping the ending would be different, and it was. But I was not expecting them to shoot Wen in the face. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's what I mean by brutal.
Yeah, that totally.
I was waiting for that to happen in the movie, and it was probably just too much.
Yeah, it would be kind of crazy to put on screen. Yeah. That really shocked me in the novel. I was like, really I thought maybe it's going to a different ending, but when that happened, I was like, there's no way that really happened. And then, but I liked the ending more. Like getting past that, the ending is more open-ended. Yeah. It keeps the question alive of the whole novel. So the ending's way better in the book. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's how I feel about both of them. Do you want to talk now about what we rated each of these?
Yeah, let's rate them after talking about them, and we had potentially some strong feelings about them back and forth, both of us. Yeah. I read the book first, and I gave the book an 8.9.
Wow, that's really high.
I really liked it. And then I watched the movie and gave it a 5.9.
Oh, 5.9?
5.9.
Okay. Pretty low? Pretty low.
Pretty low.
I watched the movie first. I gave it a 7.1. Okay. And then I read the book. I gave it an 8.
All right.
So I liked the book better,
Agreed.
just like you, but
Yeah.
your split is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Because you liked the book better than me, and you
did,
disliked the movie worse than I
Yeah.
did, more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. So now it's time to combine our scores to see what our average is. Then we can see if these are underrated or overrated. All right, so our combined score for the book is an 8.45.
That's very high. That might be up in our tops we've ever done.
Yeah, that's a strong score.
Yeah.
However, the movie, we give it a combined score of 6.5.
6.5.
That'll be
Not
somewhere in the middle.
horrible, just above. It's all right,
Yeah,
kind of
that's like the high end of all right,
Yeah.
kind of. We gave the book an 8.45, very strong, but readers at Goodreads give it a 3.32 average out of 5.
So
6.6?
Yeah.
That's super underrated, I feel like.
Whoa. Very underrated.
Yeah, because normally I feel like Goodreads scores tend to be high because it's
Yeah.
just the way the scale is.
Maybe it's
but
because of the fact that it's so unnerving.
yeah,
and,
I could see
like,
people hating that.
Yeah, it's
Too much.
It
for
is
lot
a
of
bit.
people.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a heart condition, maybe don't read this book.
True,
Almost.
yeah.
It's like it really gets you going.
It's a horror novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like an apocalyptic thing. It's a horror novel.
Yeah.
But we would say underrated for that. The movie, we gave it a 6.5. The critics give it a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience gives it 63%.
So, like, happens a lot of times. We're in the middle
Right
of that.
in the middle this
properly rated.
Yeah.
So, very surprising to me that the critics like this better than the audience.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a critical. I mean, it's not a critical darling. It's 67. I would have
they wrote in
expected,
the
because
60s.
I mean, I know I'm colored by the fact that I didn't like it. I would expect this from the audience score to be like just barely fresh. I think 60% is the minimum for fresh.
Yeah.
But
You think the critics would hate it?
I would think critics would hate it. It'd be like a 30% or something with the critics. I'm surprised at that,
Interesting.
actually.
It's about the same for both, and we are right in the
Properly
middle.
rated.
So yeah, the movie's properly rated, but that book is very underrated.
Yeah.
Okay, our final recommendations about reading or watching first. What do
Yeah.
you think?
I read it first, and I'm going to do the read it first, skip the movie. I'm going to say skip the movie. Just read it.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying that because I'm a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I like to just watch all his movies. It's not one of my favorites of his, but I still think it's worth a watch. So I will say read the book first. I also
Interesting.
liked the book better. I would say get the experience of the book first, but I don't say skip the movie. I think it's worth a watch. You should watch the movie. Okay, now I'm interested to see where these land on our ongoing ranked list.
All right, let's pull this up.
I think the book is going to be rather high.
And yeah, the book it comes at number 4.
Wow, it makes
on
it
our
into
list.
the
Makes
top
it into
5.
the top 5.
That's pretty
That's
amazing.
Great, 8.45.
Right below All the Pretty
Horses.
Horses book.
Right above the Under the Skin book.
Yeah,
Good.
it was great. And the movie
The movie is down here at number 29.
That is low.
Out of, we have 36
36?
now on this list.
Okay, not the worst thing, but it's down there.
Yeah, under the Jackie Brown movie, above the Last Duel book, and She's the Man movie. Those are tied at 30.
That's a pretty big difference from the book to the movie, considering the book cracked our top 5.
It really is. It's top 5 and then really low down in there.
Yeah, interesting. So obviously we highly recommend this book. If you've already read it, we also have some books you can check out. You can go down to the description box to find links for those. And what are we doing next month on our next episode? Next month is a lovely book called Love in the Time of Cholera.
Okay.
Gabriel Garcia
right.
Marquez, and then the movie adaptation of that book. So stick around if you want to read or watch that. And as for the knock at the cabin at the end of the world, viewer, you tell me, which is better, the book or the movie?
Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe and tell your friends to tune in too.
You can click another video now. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.